Got it.
live and on the spot.
I said, well, we don't have any plans, so he'll want to go right now.
Hello,
Yeah, let's
everybody.
just go. Well,
I'm Theo Chino, the Chief Solutions Architect, and it's our place and the Real Estate Channel Live. And today I have Joe Quartana and DanCzuba. That's how you say his name.
You got it.
We're here to talk about one of my favorite topics, lawyers, and how they can be easily replaced. Go.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, hold on a
Go
second.
ahead, tell us about your favorite.
Hold on. We are talking about real estate.
Yes.
Okay. And we're talking about attorneys involved in a real estate transaction.
Okay, so let's skip right ahead. First of all, not all real attorneys do real estate. Let's clarify that first for anybody and everybody listen out there, because that's a misconception. The license we have to sell real estate applies to any real estate in the state of Illinois. You know that, gentlemen? Okay. That means that if I wanted to sell the Sears Tower, could I do that? Yes or no?
Yes.
Technically, yes, but ethically, no. And why is that? Because the National Association of Realtors, which makes us a realtor, being a member of that, and the Illinois State Association of Realtors, we have a code of ethics, and the code of ethics says that you should not practice in a field that you are not capable of giving intelligent answers, blah, blah, blah. There's probably a better way of saying it from the state standpoint, but if you don't know what you're talking about, then shut up. Okay, don't try to do it. So the same thing with attorneys. Unfortunately, like all of us, every human being, and no, I can't talk to you right now. Come by.
Well,
It's
that's
probably
a realtor.
it's
Now,
probably
at least you've shown yourself to be a realtor.
it's an attorney called for.
Yeah, oh, that's perfect. That's even better.
I will get back to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
I'll
but
give you somebody else perfect service.
Well, everybody wants to grab as much as you possibly can. In fact, over the last 10, 20 years, there has been introductions to realtors doing mortgages and being title agents. In my company, Daniel and Associates Real Estate, DAARE, DAARE, we just do real estate. That's all.
Where are you located?
Out in the western suburbs, DuPage County, but we serve northern Illinois. So residential, our focus is on western DuPage, and eastern King County. We expand a little bit into Will and Cook County. Commercial, go anywhere in northern Illinois. Ask us, we'll tell you. If we can't service you, we'll direct you to someone who can. That's good. But thank you for saying that. But again, going back to it, we don't do mortgages. We don't do title. We don't take referral fees on anything. Okay. We just.
Do bigger businesses do that, Dan?
A lot of companies do that. In fact, that was, over the years, that was the way to increase their profitability for the company, because over the years, a lot of real estate companies got away from, quote, the traditional company split, where you hired people that you felt were of strong character and value, not that other ones don't, but it was more of a crucial thing. And then you work with them on a regular basis to train them, to educate them, to make sure that they were following all the rules. Today, a lot of that stuff was thrown out the door. And part of it is the responsibility of the state of Illinois, because there was actually a time where they allowed a managing broker to get their license from day one and become a managing broker. And they go, oh, I think that wasn't a very good idea, because now you got the dumb teaching people to be dumber, and so they stopped that, recalled that. And now you have to have some experience. I think it's at least 1 year as being an active broker in the state.
The last 3 years.
Yes, sir. 3 years. What about the last 3 years? Oh, is that what
the last 3 years to qualify for a managing broker's license?
Well, now there's managing broker, and then there's designated managing broker. Okay. I'm sorry?
There's sponsoring, and then there's managing.
Whatever.
Sponsoring is the person that's on the financial line.
Okay.
Well, managing is the person that's supposed to be managing that office.
I'm so glad we got you on the show, Joe.
I know.
And actually, what Dan said rings a bell.
Ding, ding.
Designated manager.
That was my phone.
is a term, you know,
It's called a
designated.
designated managing broker, because I'm a designated managing broker. And
Right.
we have one designated managing broker in the office, and they are responsible for all the licenses under your tutelage. However, a lot of the companies have escaped from, smaller, tighter organizations where they had quality control, etc. Now, anybody with a license and you want to hang it, pretty much you can hang it. That's why you see some companies with hundreds of licenses in the same office. I'm not saying that they don't do an efficient job, but I'll tell you what, just like anything, you are not going to get as good a job overall as you would when you're spending more time making sure that the people that are working for you know what the hell they're talking about. And that is something that is crucial to me because I love real estate. I tell people often, if you want to make money in real estate, become a real estate broker and come work for me. Okay. But if you don't buy an office to make money today. Money, I mean, you just rent space to agents. That's what a lot of these companies are doing. They rent space, they rent the name and the title. So some guy, decided to get a real estate license, and he goes and hangs his company, his name, his license with a main national renowned company. People assume that these guys know what the hell they're talking about. And oftentimes they're dumber than a bag of rocks. Okay. And I have to do business with them, and my agents have to do business with them. And that really bothers me sometimes, but I can't necessarily go and fix the other side. So what I do is I make sure that the agents that work for me understand the law, follow the law, and if they see somebody doing something they shouldn't be doing, stay away from them, because that's just an accident waiting to happen. And it's like tarring something. If you get when you tar a roof, and as careful as you can, you get that. I've done this before, and I get a lot of mess, but you as careful as you are to not get that tar in, it's always everywhere but the roof. You're like, how did I do that? It's on my clothing. I go home, my wife goes, how did you get tar in that spot? I don't know. I was careful. Okay. So you got to stay away from problems like that. But real estate, I'll tell you, it's such a fulfilling business. It's such a great career. I love it. It provides so much. And especially, and the most incredible part of it is the people. The most challenging part of it is the people. Okay. And, I went to a top producer presentation the other day. They invite a lot of people that do a lot of business. And, it's so funny to hear what they are explaining in these seminars. They have these top producer panels that sit up there, and they tell you how they do their business. Well, you know what? I tell you what, I personally don't get impressed by some guy who's done $10 million in business, and then you find out he sold 10 properties in the last year. Okay. All right. I am impressed when a guy who says he does $5 million in business and he sold 30 properties, that person really interacted with people and attorneys and lenders and home inspectors and surveyors and everybody else that's involved in a transaction and got it done. That's impressive. Not these guys that, did I get dirty? Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Hey, they have their place because there obviously is a need for them. But like I said, my people are the ones that get it done on a regular basis down in the trenches and deal with the average everyday American person that is struggling to make sure they get the best value when they're buying or selling real estate. And they count on our information being as effective and as helpful as possible. And that's what we do. We give great information. It may sometimes, sometimes the truth, because it's so absent in a lot of our world, that when you say the truth, people look at you like, what is that? That can't be possibly true. And that's how amazing the truth is, because no matter what, the truth is always the truth. And you never have to worry about repeating it, because it's the same thing when you say it again.
So
yes,
Dan,
sir. You with the hand up in front. I saw that.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's a throwback for everybody.
Cotter.
Welcome back, Cotter.
Yeah.
Arnold Horstat,
Ooh.
right?
Yeah.
It sounds to me like you are touching on what the values of your organization and you and your personal brand as a human being are. If you could like give me 3 words that would describe the values, or do you have them written down somewhere at your business? What are the top 3 values?
Well, I don't have them written down. I think, they're just woven into my fabric of my being. But being honest with people, telling people the truth, that's a big thing. Okay. It's the hardest thing to tell people the truth because people don't know how to handle the truth all the time. And those of us that are giving the truth don't always know how to present it, because it can be, people have these images, just like me. I have the same thing. We have so much information in the world today. We formulate ideas even before we know exactly what's going on. When I go to the doctor, I already know that I've got cancer. I'm going to die. I've got this terrible disease. It's going to be horrible. And I got this pain in my back. And then I go to see the doctor and the doctor goes, "Oh, that's a muscle." I go, "Really? That's it? It's a muscle?" "Yeah, it's all, nothing." And I just had that. That's why I say that, because it's true.
Thank goodness you have the good kind of doctor who's not like, let me see, you have insurance? Right?
See, I'm attracted to people that I can count on to give me the truth. I'm attracted to people, and that's what I want. People, I get so many clients that come back to me because they said, "You know what? I should have listened to you the first time. You told me what I needed to hear, but I didn't want to hear it. I wasn't ready to hear it." I can't make people ready. That's just it.
So
Dan?
Yes, sir.
competence, and really what you told me is part of competence is just being able to present the truth in a format that's digestible to the person who's ready to eat it, right? Ready to take it. And that's, I think, you were talking about before, there are probably a lot of people out there that would pass a lie detector that are practicing real estate right now or practicing law, and they would pass the lie detector, but they're lying to you because they're incompetent and they don't know what they're doing. So here we got integrity, like good intent, and then we also have competence, and then we have good presentation. Are you actually able to convey what is in your brain and get it across to the other person's brain and check to make sure they receive the message right?
Well, if you formulate this as a way of life, if this is your fabric, your moral fabric, your business practices, etc., okay, you don't ever have to worry about it. The challenge is that we meet people of varying experiences that they've had in their lives, so they are going to respond to you in different ways. And that's why realtors deserve a big hand, because those people, you go from one to the next, and they all have different experiences. I've got one couple that I'm working with right now. It's a senior couple. They are meticulous. And let me tell you something, they nitpick everything that goes on in the transaction. And to the point where I got to tell you, I got excited with this lady the other day. And I said, "Why? You have told me over and over and over again that everything I've told you is true. Why don't you still believe anything I tell you?" She questions everything.
Did she
And I
say,
said, "You just have to relax. At some point, you just have to relax, because I'm tired of telling you what, explaining it. Either accept it or go find somebody else you want to drive crazy," because
And-
we're going back to honesty, guys.